All right, we should be live, and hello, Dreams.
Hello.
Did you ever get me a oh, you did get me a replay code, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that put in while people show up.
I hope I'm not, like, breathing into my mic.
No, I think you're good.
Alright.
J-N-9-N. Cool. Yep, there it is. Alrighty. So I am going to really quickly get set up so that you are able to see in the Discord, so that you can see it in real time when I say stuff.
Yep.
There's that.
We're running all good.
Awesome. And I'm just going to get one more thing set up so that I can see something I need to see in Discord. Okay. Thanks for the support, chat. You're like, oh, goodness gracious. Stay strong. Good luck.
I'm really working the night shift now.
Yeah. Well, alright. Wow, this is a team comp that you've got yourself here.
It was insane, honestly.
So, if you're that junior, you're looking at this like, okay, I'm spending the entire game painting the map.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're everyone else, you're like, oh my god, junior, please paint the entire map. It's not like the other team has got a ton of paint either, but 96 plus shot is already better than just a junior that is able to paint significantly. So, at least you're not hurting too much relative to the other team, because the Glues aren't going to paint a lot, the Hydra's not going to paint a lot, the 96 is kind of mediocre in terms of that. It was better in Splatoon 2 for painting because it had a sprinkler that would paint at the same time that it was painting with its main weapon. But, so it's not the end of the world, but man, that is a rough comp to get for Splat Zones, the mode where you are required to paint in order to win. So the win condition, and I mean, you're a blaster player, so this is kind of your win condition anyway.
Yeah.
But the win condition for you is you gotta splat people. If you don't splat people and remove them from play, your team cannot play the objective. So it requires a little bit more aggressive an approach here. You'll want to be playing off the damage that other people do. So in this case, like, your juniors' bombs and your blasters' indirects are kind of what you're trying to play off to maybe get that chip damage. Either that, or you're just looking for directs on people, or to lure them into the Hydra or something. Let's take a look at how this goes. Oh man, and they've got an ink vac too.
Yeah.
Ink vac and a wall. Oh dear. Hello, solo queue. Alright. So we talked in our last lesson, because we have done another lesson with Dreams before. We talked in our last lesson a lot about making sure to cut off the opponent's options with your hitboxes. So to put stuff in the way of where they want to go. So one thing that I would probably do, just a small optimization here, is if I'm going to be like peeking the right side of zone, I would probably swim right up to the grill of that truck, and maybe like a few feet away, just pop a shot right in front of it, because that way, while the shot isn't going to go around the corner, it's going to paint my feet so I can inch my way just around the corner. Because what I'm worried about here is I peek to the right to, throw this bomb or whatever, and immediately someone paints my feet and now I'm stuck. Whereas if I'm able to peek with my feet painted already, chances are a lot better that I can very quickly just start swimming away from that engagement. So I would want just a little bit more of an ability to move than I'm getting from getting onto this unpaintable turf right here. So one more shot probably is worth it time-wise, just to give yourself that mobility, because right now you're staying a lot further back than you could in theory. You're controlling less of a zone just because you don't feel safe moving away from this painted patch of ink that you've got. Another thing that I'd be thinking about here, just because we're a really low paint comp, is if we're going to throw a bomb, we want to do it to keep people out of the way. The bomb is not going to paint that much for us. The bomb is going to take away a lot of our ink, and we only have so much ink to spare in the first place. So if we're throwing a bomb, we want to throw it pretty intentionally. And if we're just trying to zone people out, consider also just using your main weapon, since your main weapon reaches as far as you just threw that bomb, and takes a lot less of your ink tank, and also will paint more than the bomb does.
It's mostly... Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. It was mostly to really keep vantage on the top there, because I know most of the time on top of that truck is a pretty bad problem spot for most teams.
I'm talking about the bomb that you're throwing into mid. I think the bomb that you threw on the truck is fine.
Oh, yeah. But more of why I'm like sitting away from the truck a bit is to get a better sight line above.
Oh, okay. So if someone shows up there, you
fired.
can take shots over the top at them. Got it.
Yeah.
You can actually get pretty close to it. I would have to go into recon mode, but if you move a little bit to the left of the far headlight on the truck, that little like corner in between the front of the truck and that like side, not the lower wall, but the higher part of the wall to the left of it, you can kind of hit up into that corner and hit most of the truck from over that and be a lot closer to the truck and have more cover from it. I learned that from playing range myself on this map. You can cover most of the truck from there, and then since you're that close to the ledge, you've got more cover from anyone who's on top of it.
Alright.
Plus it reaches further down the truck that way since you're closer to it. You just have to jump shot.
Yeah.
But all of that aside, we've got ourselves set up now, and notice how now that you've got all of this paint at your feet, you're feeling a lot more comfortable just moving forward and like painting the zone and zoning people out. So since you're gonna have all of that paint and like use it for this anyway, might as well just take one extra shot as you're setting up here and just shoot it right at the bumper of the truck so that you're able to swim right up to it from in the first place instead of having to wait.
Mm-hmm.
So with Inkvax, in theory, it might be good to actually try and fill it, because that takes it off the map sooner. Ideally, what you want here is for your Hydra to know that they can just fill the whole thing up and then shoot it in like a quarter of a second or something before it's able to fire. That doesn't seem to be happening. Just make sure you don't run yourself out of ink doing that. Okay, nice. So we get one. We definitely want to take this guy out, and you can definitely do that. So zip back a little bit. So yeah, I like this fight that you take there, I believe you're the one who damages it first, and then your teammate takes it out. So that's really good teamwork there. With this player, once you get that first hit, especially since look at where that shot is relative to you. They do not have their aim on at all. Even if they were aiming at you, you still have enough time to get up close enough and splat them with an indirect here. And since they're not aiming at you at all, I would actually swim forward here because they're going to want to back up out of your range. And so unless they can take you out, if you do run forward, running forward is actually to your advantage here. Since you back up, you give them enough space that they're able to retreat, and now you haven't gotten that pick. Ooh, a close one. I thought you could actually make that.
Yeah, I do later, but it's like, nah.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's not that you can't make it, it's just that you missed.
Yeah.
Once you do have control of zone, you really want to be moving up and trying to take advantage of the space that you've won by... I think you end up in a 4v2 here? Okay, 3v2. Even so, especially with the 96 being pushed back, you just have to worry about that one Hydra, and as long as you can get past them somehow, you can move a little bit further forward, and a range blaster underneath that ledge is one of the biggest threats to the Hydra. As soon as you're set up there, they just can't move. They have to let their frontliners go in and put you out of position before they're going to be able to do anything. So while this is a strong position for you, especially in neutral, given the opportunity to move up, you still do want to be moving up because you've got that whole ledge to the enemy base that you can really demand attention from and be a huge threat from. You don't want to be letting them get back to the zone here. You want to be putting yourself in between them and the zone because that's the only way that you're going to be able to keep your paint on the zone is by just not letting them on the zone at all.
Alright.
Especially, it looks like your teammate also gets... Oh, no, they went down earlier. And on this map, like, I totally understand taking a position this passive a lot of the time because you've probably been punished a lot before for trying to push into mid. Like, mid is a kill zone. It's a place that you don't stay in. It's a place that you move through. So it's totally reasonable to be like, that's a bad position. But in order to have the best chance of winning the game, you don't want to take that position, but you need to like move through it and deny other people access to that position. And that's what'll really help you with keeping the objective when you're not able to outpaint them for it.
Yeah, mostly the fear of the Hydra because it sits up there not the entire game, but like most of the game.
And there are ways around that. So a couple things you can do about that Hydra. One thing is to wait for it to be out of charge, and as soon as it is out of charge, to move then. Because what you can do is wait for it to be out of charge, fire a shot forward, and then before it has enough charge again and has its aim on, you're going to be landing shots on it. Another option, if it's totally focused on you and it will prevent you from doing such a thing, is to drop over the right truck, because then you get closer to it before you have to leave cover.
Yeah.
So those are both a couple of ideas for getting you in there. But always remember that like a backliner who's taking the same position every time is a predictable backliner. Is a backliner that you can make plans for, that you can set up against.
And I just saw that short too.
Yeah. Alright, so it's just your Hydra right now, and you've landed on them, and they're also under duress. So this is definitely a moment to be playing safe. You've still got teammates spawning back in. Everybody has seen exactly where you are because they were all looking at your Hydra because they were the only one alive. So, okay, the Hydra gets forced down here, and this is a dangerous position for them. I really don't like them peeking this corner. I would rather they just be getting on the sponge and getting back up because that's a blind corner that they're left side peeking For all we know, there could be, like, the Gloogadoolies sharking, like, right underneath this ledge they're looking over. And they actually did get pretty close. Ooh, but the Hydra shreds it. Nice. So if the Hydra knew that that was where that player was and knew that they weren't close yet, maybe that's a thing that they can pull off. And it would be an unexpected aggressive play, so I actually, you know, as long as the Hydra was doing this with the information that I think they had, I think that's actually a pretty good play. It's, you know, they're still using their range. They're taking an angle that the opponents aren't expecting. And look at this. They get a couple picks, and now we're going to be able to secure the zone again.
Don't know what I was expecting to do here.
This is a little... So, we are trying to push across mid with a numbers advantage, which makes sense. What we weren't expecting here was for the splatter shot... Or, no, that's not the splatter shot. That's the 96. What we weren't expecting here was for the 96 to show up. And so from here... Fortunately, the 96 doesn't end up hitting enough shots and gets forced back by something. So you actually get a little bit of a reprieve there. Throwing the bomb, again, is probably something that I wouldn't want you to be doing. Here, specifically because you run the risk of running out of ink. Bombs are really, really, really expensive on the ink tank. And this, so it, like, again, if you're going to be throwing a bomb, you want to be throwing a bomb that's going to zone someone out of an area you need them to not be in. Well, we know where everybody is, because the splatter shot just respawned. It's just the 96 and the Hydra. The 96 is to your right, the Hydra's above you. Neither of those players are going to want to stand on the spot that your bomb is on. Your bomb is also not painting that much of the zone. It's like half on, half off the zone. So... maybe this is just kind of a bomb you're throwing out of habit because you're used to there being people there that you need to zone out, but at the moment, throwing that bomb is depleting your ink tank and not getting you a lot of value, so you want to just be focusing on using your main weapon to get through here.
Yep.
Were you out of ink there?
No, I think it just hit the ground and
okay.
Didn't make enough.
So... I like the aggression to try and get through mid. Like, that is something you're going to have to do eventually. We may just need to wait for, like, a teammate to go in there first who's a little bit more maneuverable to clear a path for us. But we want to always be in a position where we could think about doing that. And given the opportunity to go yourself, definitely go for it. Because, again, getting set up underneath the Hydra is like a win condition for you guys.
Yep.
I would be a little worried about specifically jump shotting into it, just in case like it ends up being able to get enough sucked in for a shot. Because if you're in midair and then the vac is charged, you don't actually have time to move before that shot is on you. So if you're going to fill it up, I would definitely just take standing shots on it, because it's not like it's aiming at you right now. It's not like you need to dodge something right now. But you may need to dodge something as soon as your shot hits them.
And I have like one question about the vac though.
Mm-hmm.
Do I fill it up more if I throw a bomb or if I shoot my main into it?
That's actually a good question. My guess would be that a bomb does more individually to fill it up, but that shots do more DPS. They fill it up more over time. So if like you only have an instant to be facing it and then you have to go deal with something else, maybe you throw a bomb for the like burst paint that you put into it. But if you're trying to just fill it up by yourself, maybe just fire a couple shots. Okay. One thing to worry about though with specifically the blasters is that your fire rate is so slow that you don't want to be firing the last shot that fills it up, because with the amount of time that it takes for your weapon to make you actionable again after firing, I would be worried that they'd be able to fire the shot before I'd be able to move. So, maybe put a couple of shots into it if you're going to try and help with that early on, but try to be mobile as soon as it's able to shoot at something. Filling it up is more of a Hydra thing to do, more of a shooter thing to do. With a blaster, you can help with that, just don't go all the way with it, because then you just overcommit and end up getting hit by the shot.
Yep.
And hello to all of the folks in chat.
They're sending their support for the 4 lessons you have today. So
Yeah. It's going to be a long one, but nothing I haven't done before.
yeah.
And thank you, Marie Obsidian. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I have no audio, but I don't know how to make Twitch show that. There's a mute button with a like volume slider. So maybe check to see if you're muted. Maybe check to see it's going to the right place.
It might.
It might be muted by default on PC. I don't know. Yeah.
I know there's like badges that say like viewer or audio only or stuff like that on Twitch now. So.
Huh. Well, I know that other people can hear us because nobody's been complaining about that in chat. Oh, we got him. We got him. Yes, that's totally worth. You do die on zone, but this should give your team the opportunity to move in. They might have been too far behind to follow up. No, they get the 96. All right, you've got someone on the other side, I believe. No, you don't. You don't. Never mind. 2v2 now. The Hydra is top left, so you can actually move forward here. There you go. There you go. Yes. This is good for you.
I was very scared about that shot because I saw that guy above me, and I thought he'd notice immediately.
Perfect. Exactly. Beautiful, beautiful. See, this kind of play is how you win this game. It's you get underneath this ledge and make it so they can't even safely get to the zone in the first place. Okay, so the ink vac comes out, which is annoying because you're trying to stop them from getting into the zone, and the ink vac might have an impact on that. That said, there is actually a target here. So you can see that there's actually someone who comes out in front of the ink vac here, and they move so far in front of the ink vac that they're outside of its protection. So what I would be doing here is actually turning to the left and focusing on this guy who's on their truck and taking them out since they stray a little bit too far away from the ink vac there. It kind of looks like they might be trying to drop in behind you, and so that would be another important reason to try and focus on that. Nice shot, though.
Yeah.
There might have been an opportunity to hit the guy who was trying to jump in, maybe, if that's what you're trying to shoot at. But you end up just getting the vac, which is sick. And that'll be annoying to them. With those shots, oh, you do actually get an assist. I was going to say, you probably needed to start shooting a little bit earlier, because otherwise they could get out of the angle that you can hit. Like, they have time to move far enough on the ledge that, like, you have to... to get the angle, you have to be out of range, and once you're in range, you don't have the angle, you know? So you wanted to be shooting just a little bit earlier than that to be able to hit them, because otherwise they kind of just get away without your teammate helping. I love the squid roll movement there, because it looked like you were kind of stuck in a corner, and then all of a sudden you're at this completely different angle, and you've got a little armor, and you hit the direct too, which is sick, and now you're going to be able to threaten this Hydra. They're probably going to throw this at you, so good idea to be moving. Good stuff. I think against, like, top level mechanical players, what you might have needed to do was shoot the splatter shot first, like get the second shot on them first, because if you don't, like, and you turn your focus to something else, they probably have time to close on you and get the pick. But hitting the direct on the Hydra is huge. If you only hit an indirect on them, now you're in even more trouble, because now two people are fighting you at once. The goal is to, like, remove someone from play as early as possible. When you get into an engagement like this, like when you're in a 1v2, you want to, like, box one player out by being behind cover so that it's just a 1v1, win the 1v1, and then turn back to the other 1v1. So just
stay there near those, like, black boxes and fight that splatter shot instead of having to turn and hit that Hydra.
Right.
And just staying in the safety of that, because he probably couldn't see me, or he'd have to back up wall charging to see me.
Exactly.
So,
Because you don't have to splat them to remove them from the engagement. You can just make it so that they're not having an impact on it. And like hitting the direct is a much, it's like taking a 3-point shot, right? Higher reward, but also higher risk of missing.
yeah.
So it works out here, but like in a statistical model of like how often am I going to reliably hit that shot, you have to factor in that sometimes you're going to miss it, and in the cases where you miss it, you'd much rather get the splatter shot out of the way, because otherwise then you've just got two people shooting at you.
Yep. And I did see a question in chat. This is S rank. It's not the most high skill level, but it's still up there somewhat.
And I think at this point it's GG. Like, I think you've got it right now. Because all they've got is this Booyah Bomb. That is not going to paint the zone enough, even against two blasters. And nobody else gets back in time. Yeah. So, that was exactly it. Like, once you did get in against the Hydra, you just totally single-handedly won the game for your team. And so the big question of that game is, how do you get in there safely? And that's kind of your win condition, so that's what you're trying to go and do as soon as you possibly can. That only took a half hour. If you have another one that you'd like to look at really quickly, we might be able to kind of speed run through that.
Yeah, pull one up. I might try, because it did switch to Rainmaker after that, so... question, Scorch Gorge or Wahoo World?
For Rainmaker?
Yeah.
Scorch Gorge is probably a good one to look at.
Alright. I have to type it in, because I'm not, actually I'll just copy it and then do it through my phone, because I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. There we go.
All right, I've got the DM.
Just want to tell you now, there was an Explosher that did like 2,000 painting, which was wild to me.
I've seen 2300s by like refluxes and stuff. Explode definitely paints a lot too. Like, that's something that you often see in zones for that reason.
Yeah. I think that pressure is also really good for the splat zones, because it's a lot. You can go over the splat zone and not necessarily onto the splat zone, which I think some people might like.
Yeah, it's like being able. It's like having a slosher or a blaster where you can hit over ledges and stuff. Okay, so now we go here, here. The gnarly chair you got there. Yeah, the green screen's not nice to it. It's actually a very expensive chair. Something that I splurged on, knowing that in this line of work I would be sitting here for like most of my day. So I wanted to make sure I'm not going to hurt myself. Okay. So man, your comp
Crazy
ended
comps.
up being really passive except for Sploosh. Like, everything on your comp screams chip damage except the Sploosh. And then their team is pretty quick. They're going to have dapples, so they're going to be trying to set up beacons and tacticooling and trying to rush at you, with the exception of the Bloblobber. But the nice thing about the Bloblobber for their team is that it's going to help them pop the shield really well. I would say they definitely... Oh, yeah, no question that they beat your team, I think, in terms of being able to pop the Rainmaker shield. Because, like... your Sploosh does a lot of DPS, but their Dapples also do a lot of DPS. And then it's like 2 shooters, one of which is a spray shooter and a bloblobber, versus a blaster and 2 buckets. And okay, well, the Explo does paint a lot, but even so, that's no contest. They win the pop here, which is unfortunate. So this is going to be a comp where you need to control a lot of space and just kind of play really, really airtight defense in order to be able to get openings, because nobody's going to be able to move fast. So you're going to have to kind of set up and make, like, slightly slower pushes, but also, like, they're probably going to get there first to be able to make scoring pushes, so you're going to need to be answering those. It's like playing black in chess. It's not like the end of the world or anything, but it is a slight disadvantage that you're playing the slower comp here.
Yeah.
So the Sploosh ends up trying to go for the pop, and this isn't a great way for them to try and go for the pop because there's no escape route whatsoever, and they don't have cover from the pop itself. Like, oh my goodness. As a Sploosh, this is not the way you ever want to be approaching the Rainmaker shield. You're just not going to get there before the Rainmaker shield explodes.
Yeah.
And there are several better ways to have gone where you could maybe have some cover on your way up, where you could have paint to duck into. Oh, excuse me.
You're all right.
To swim out of range with. So, yeah, they're nowhere near in range before they start shooting there, and that's going to mean that they go down. So now it's on your team to play defense. Now, being here on this spot, this doesn't really give you a good line of sight against the Rainmaker because you're too far away from the Rainmaker shield itself, I think, to actually hit it from here. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I don't think you can actually hit the shield from where you're sitting.
I think chip.
So you can indirect it, but not direct it. So, if that's all you can do from here, and given that the main pushing route they're going to be trying to use is to the left, I would position more to the left of here. That way, you're controlling the space that they actually have to move through, instead of space that they can totally just sidestep. You want to be in position preemptively so that, like, before they can collapse on AJ Sorrel over there by themselves, that you're already there with AJ Sorrel, making it a more difficult fight for them. That sort of idea.
Yeah. And that bomb should have been the alarm bells that I shouldn't be staying here the entire time, and that ends up losing the high ground. And I know high ground was very important last time. But
another thing about this is that you're standing next to the Explo, and so even if they're not seeing you and your blaster shots, they might be seeing the Explo's shots. So since you're standing on top of them, and since they control a wider radius around them than you do anyway, you're kind of controlling a zone that is redundant, a zone that is already controlled by your team and doesn't need to be controlled twice. And since they control it better, since they have more range, you want to be pushing forward a little bit more and maybe getting up there with, like, your sloshing machine on the left. They can't do much against your Explo. From the left, you'll be able to see them coming across the bridge, and you'll be able to get over to the bridge in time to stop them anyway because you can swim and they have to walk.
Yeah.
So I would worry more about the left since they can actually swim to the left, and that's the easiest route to push.
And one more. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing. I think the reason why I don't like going left on Scorch is I played too much Turf War to go to the left because it's still open when I go through there, and usually Chargers are sitting up at that rusty tower there, and I usually get punished for it. So.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that you want to go to the left side of mid right away. I'm not even saying, like, go into mid. Let's take a look at where your sloshing machine is positioned right now. Do we see it? Yeah, okay. So AJ Sorrel over there. They're not in mid. they're not even in E-liter range of the Rusty Tower thing. They have a way to back up, but they're in a position where they're in the way of the Rainmaker, if the Rainmaker were to push that way. So
And I also see that where I actually could be sitting. I could be sitting on that gray block over there, just hitting shots above it, because their 52 would probably have to push way up to probably get enough to deal with me.
yeah,
But I'd probably be pretty safe.
yeah. And I mean, once I'm about to sneeze again. Wait, no, I said that I was about to sneeze, and so now I'm not about to sneeze anymore. That's how it works. So,
Yep.
and like if you start getting pressured by the blobber, you might get forced to move, or if they're throwing a lot of bombs in that direction. But yeah, I agree that that's that's a relatively safe position for you, and it's in a much more impactful space. Plus, it makes your machine just a little bit safer because you're there to support them at an off angle. So, for all of those reasons, you want to be there. For another reason, if you drop off to the right here, the Rainmaker can go left, and now you are in no position whatsoever to defend against it. All you can do on the right side here is maybe get a pick or two, but you're separated from the fight that would happen to the left if someone were to just pick up the Rainmaker and run with it. It's a rule of mine that you always have someone between the Rainmaker and the goal. And if you can't see exactly where your teammates are... Oh, is AJ Sorrel the Explo? Was it your machine that was down? Huh. So your machine was actually on the ledge with you, and it was only the Explo that was on the left in the way. That's even more dangerous, because the Explo can get rushed down pretty easily by any of these weapons. And so if the Rainmaker actually starts running left, and they're all that's in the way, that might not be good. Anyway... as a rule, like, you always want to keep someone between the Rainmaker and the goal, and if you only have one person between the Rainmaker and the goal, and the entire enemy team is pushing the Rainmaker, you don't really have anyone between the Rainmaker and the goal anymore. They're going to get forced back or splatted. So definitely err on the side of just staying in between the Rainmaker and the goal when you're not directly in control of the Rainmaker. Okay, so they grab it, but they get stopped. You actually almost get that. But here, again, like, the only value that you can possibly get from that position is getting picks on players who are out of position to make a play on the Rainmaker. If all of those people who had been worrying about you had just gone with the Rainmaker carrier and pushed with them, I don't think your team actually splats the Rainmaker carrier. I think they just kind of get run over, and they can ignore you. You basically put yourself out of play, and if the other team had recognized that and played off it, they basically had your team in a 4v3 because of where you were.
Yep. And I did get the guy running across the bridge there to the zone where I was, but...
Yeah, like that helps with the flank, but again, the Rainmaker was going in the opposite direction anyway. It doesn't seem like you've noticed just yet that the other team picked up the Rainmaker. Because you're still looking at this fight over here. That was something that you probably could have fired a shot at earlier. They end up running into the rest of your team, so it's fine. But, like, right here... You see the Rainmaker, and it's running towards you through purple ink, and they have the Rainmaker text as purple instead of orange. So there are a lot of cues there where, like, as soon as that Rainmaker changes possession, there's always, like, a quick check in your peripherals that you want to make sure that you know exactly what's going on with it, who has control of it, and whatnot. Sometimes it does surprise you. Sometimes it's like, wait, they have it? Why do they have it? Knowing that there was someone on the top left, I would have probably focused more attention on that. Because, again, your weapon's strength is hitting up over ledges. So I love the wave breaker there. Then from here, if you hug the ledge, like the underside of the ledge there, that 52 can't just, like, aim straight down and see you very easily. and they have like 3 other things that they'd rather shoot at before they try to do that. So you're actually probably safer, if anything, instead of being behind this block here, where it puts you out of range to hit the 52. What you want to be is like almost directly under that ledge, so that you can hit up over the top of it, but they can't as easily hit down and hit you.
Yeah.
Because from here, you can't actually hit that 52 as reliably, and I think they get away after splatting this player. Thank you so much for the donation, Scrap Dragon, and I don't know why I'm not hearing Woomies and Vimos. There's the Vimo, okay. Literally right when I say that, it's like, oh wait, sorry, I forgot. But thank you so much. Going along, trying to learn this is hard, apparently. I very much appreciate all the tips, tricks, and advice. Keep doing it. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay, but yeah, I would want to stay closer underneath the ledge. It's the same kind of situation you were in Mincemeat, where you're just looking for someone to pop up over those ledges and to get rid of them with the blaster. And then as the team starts moving up, you can... are you able to see my mouse, perhaps? Oh, one sec. Let me...
No.
Can you see it now?
Honestly, it's very pixelated, like the
Gotcha.
view on Discord, so I don't know why. It says it's 1080.
Cool. Very, very cool. So if you hug the wall right underneath the 52, and then just keep moving towards the goal, hugging the wall the whole way around, so you'll take a right turn and then a left turn, you know, like that. That's pretty good cover for you to have, so that you can advance around the corner while still being able to hit up over a ledge, where that ledge is keeping you safe.
Yep. I might try leaving the call and joining back to see if it isn't as pixelated. So.
Gotcha. All right.
All right.
So we're gonna hold for just a second. Woomy. Hello, Criley. Whoa. Lights just flickered on and off. Glad that that wasn't a power outage or anything. Woomies for Gem. Criley is my my political campaigner. Criley's out there getting all the little woomies to vote for Gem. Hi, Ginger Ailsy. Enjoyed the tier list YouTube videos. Thank you. Yeah, those tend to do well, and I think for good reason. I always watch them whenever another top content creator makes one. Hi, Fahad. Good to see ya. And hello, Royal Abyss. Doing well. Hope you are too. Very nice and informative too. Oh, thank you. I'm always worried that they're like super long, but then like that was what I thought about the VOD reviews too at first. When I was first doing these VOD reviews, it was for my coworkers because the channel used to be a company channel. So I've told that whole origin story before, but when we were first doing it, I was like, hey, well, we could just do a VOD review for you guys, and we did that, and that got like a lot of support, and people were like, oh yeah, keep doing this. So that was how the Squid School stream started. Gem is streamer, man. Yes, I am Gem. I am Gem, and I run Squid School. Yeah, the flag. There are elements of the background. You can see the flag moving on the right-hand side. There are elements of the background that actually still move, even when it's paused, which is so weird. Like on Mahi Mahi, all of the water around the map keeps waving and moving, even though the action on stage is frozen. So it's this really weird, like, immersion-shattering effect when you're pausing and starting up again a lot in the replay mode. What is the best... which is the best Pokemon starter and why is it grass? It's actually fire, so... Sorry. Yeah, I agree. I don't like the fire and fighting thing. Like, Blaziken's a cool Pokemon, and, like, I'm not going to take it away from Blaziken, but, like, they should have made it a one-time thing, and not a every single generation there's the fire type is just going to become fighting as well.
Yep. Especially with Emboar.
I am glad that you said something so that I know you are back, because I realized I was not checking for that. But, okay.
Yeah, thanks to...
Oh, you couldn't join back? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I was about to check, but we had a good conversation. All right. So, are you back and able to see again?
Yep.
All right. Let's keep
It's
going.
still pixelated, but I don't want to go through that again. So.
Yeah. And if there's ever anything that you're a little unsure of, there's always the VOD. Or you could like pop into the stream and watch it from there. Just a little bit behind. Okay.
That was kind of a oops. They didn't squid roll back, so I kind of went sideways.
Gotcha. Okay, so you were trying to squid roll away, which totally makes sense. Let's take another look at it. So bomb is here, and you're like trying to squid roll around the goal here, and then there just happens to be another bomb, and now since you didn't get the squid roll, you're just in midair, and you're like, well, guess I'll die.
With taking my both me and my teammate with him.
Yep, that is how it do be. However, you did get the checkpoint, which is a huge accomplishment on this map. That opens up a lot of possibilities. So it looked like you were about to jump out and just try and take shots, and then you're like, wait, big bubbler, I need to hold back. So yeah, this is probably about the right way to do it. I like throwing bombs at the outside of the big bubbler because it's kind of the same deal as throwing bombs at a splash wall. First of all, it's going to do a lot of burst damage all at once. And you don't want to just stand there doing damage steadily to it unless you know that there's no one there to shoot at you. Because if you just stand there for too long, they might see that you're doing that, see that you're like committed to firing that shot, and engage on you in between shots. So that's something to be worried about. Another thing is that a bomb will do more damage all at once. And the last thing is that you can throw the bomb from longer range, and you're more likely to splat someone if they're trying to push out of the bubble at that time. So that's usually how I go for those, but afterwards, when they're not really contesting it at all, you are able to get rid of it. This, honestly, I don't think I have too many problems with it. It was just unfortunate that there were that many people there. You know, I will actually say I think you spend too long trying to focus the big bubbler down. Again, like, firing a few shots at it ends up being okay. Like, if you'd thrown a bomb and then fired a shot or something like that. But if you stand here firing it for too long, people will do something about it. You know, they'll develop a plan. And that's exactly what happens here. As soon as the whale sounds, you definitely want to be moving.
Yep.
Because that's something that does happen sometimes with a splash wall. Like, someone focuses too much on the splash wall, and that gives the player behind the splash wall a chance to just splat them.
I will give big props to my Explosh and like other teammates for just staying anchors, because they probably would have gotten rushed down a lot. I wouldn't have these jumps.
So here, there's the Rainmaker, and then there's the player in front of the Rainmaker. And the player in front of the Rainmaker is doing the right thing, and they are pushing up ahead to create safe space for the Rainmaker. So there's this player who's marked right in front of you, and the player to your left is your Explo. So it's important to not let this player through to get to the Explo, and between the two of you, you can absolutely just get this guy's feet painted, deny them the space that they need. Like right here, as they're starting to come up, if you just turn left and put a shot in front of them, even if it completely whiffs, it paints their feet enough that they can't get to your Explo, and your Explo can line up a shot perfectly, hit their 90 or whatever, and now that player's down in all likelihood. But we go after the Rainmaker instead. The Rainmaker ends up having a splash wall that keeps them safe from this. And if you look at the top of your screen, you'll see that that player actually did get your X-Blow. So now, not only did we not get the Rainmaker, but we're a teammate down and someone got behind us. Especially since the Rainmaker wasn't even in range to hit you guys yet, I would definitely focus here on the player who's further forward first. Nice shot. There was a player who moved just behind you there, and this is something that happens fast enough that it might not have actually happened on your screen, that, like, the camera might not have been there for you. But yeah, oh my goodness, that's a matter of just a few frames, so it's entirely possible that it wasn't visible to you.
I thought Halloween was over. Jump scare.
Okay, so there's that. There, on your right. You see them coming around right mid there?
Oh, yeah.
So that's on your screen for probably like 3 frames. No more than that. But that's something that I did catch. And so that would have been a concern for me. Now again, for those who don't know, the spectator camera in the replay mode actually smooths out so that it's easier to watch for a spectator. So the camera view that we're getting might actually just not have been what they saw in the match. And so for all we know, you didn't get those few frames, and we're only seeing that on this replay. So it's hard to say for sure, and that's why, you know, when I get the opportunity, I like to work off of like capture card footage or phone camera footage, so we know whether or not they should have been able to see that. But that's something to keep an eye out for. Ooh.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're the ones who end up actually getting the Rainmaker pop. Okay, so it's a 3v3 situation, 2v2 situation, still totally even. In this situation with the Rainmaker shield about to pop, and it not being in like that important a place for paint, I actually would just shark here, because I'm a blaster and I don't expect that I'm going to be able to contest that pop in a 2v2 against shooter weapons or whatever else they've got. What I want to do here is let them pop it, make them think, oh, no one was shooting at the back of the shield, so we're fine. And then they walk into my range and I go pew pew. Because now they're just backing off and like playing safe here. The jump you actually totally should have gotten though. So the 52 was backed up and like they were scared and they weren't going to protect that jump. And so as soon as you see it right here, and I'm seeing that the 52 is backing off, I'm just setting myself up in the exact perfect position, not even moving, and getting my aim perfectly on the arrow there, so that I can hit this direct as soon as they land. Because it looks like we're out of range by the time we fire that shot. Nice shot.
And this is the part where I was like, please don't pick it up, because I'd rather have it reset than stay up there.
Oh, did your X-Blow pick it up? Yeah.
No, our Slosh did.
Oh, okay.
And it reset it, now it's popped, and then we kind of take turns doing the, whose Rainmaker is it? So.
Yeah. But that's not the end of the world, because it's, your team is in the lead, so you're getting to play defense over a really easy choke point to hold with an AoE weapon. So this should work out okay.
And gonna be honest here, did not intend to pick it up, even though it
Gotcha.
looks like I was trying to go for it. I was just really getting
yeah, over time you'll develop the habit of just avoiding being anywhere near it when you're trying to move around it. Like, you'll think about what space you can stand on instead of walking through it. But you get a wipe, and so are we gonna pick it up? Okay. Yeah, I would have expected the machine, it's one thing to like spot like a 3v1 or a 4v2 position, you know? That at least requires you to look up at the UI and kind of know where the opponent's positions are and be like, oh, hey, we're strong enough to make a push right now. I get it when like a solo queue teammate doesn't go for that. But when the word wipeout showed up on screen and you're the furthest back next to the Rainmaker and your team is pushing up in front of you, you'd think that they'd want to pick it up and run with it. Okay, so we all go over to the left and the Rainmaker goes over to the right. I will say, in a situation like this, I'd probably prefer to go to the right. The left isn't even that much faster of a fast break. And the teammate in front of us like was really deep in their spawn, but they just went down. So by the time we're across the bridge, we're going to be seeing resistance. And it wouldn't be as safe for the Rainmaker carrier. So I would probably have tried to go right. And while I agree with the Rainmaker's desire to go right, I still don't agree with their decision not to follow you guys when they see that you're going left. Because that's where they've got protection. And if they're going right, you know, as the Rainmaker carrier, you always expect to get stopped by the first person who's in your way. So, yeah, now they're out like way in front of you guys. And they're going to go down because there's someone who's able to just get in their way. So, it could have gone better, but they do still get a lot of points.
And I was really surprised in how I think it was the not the junior, the dualies that like popped up out of nowhere seemingly, but like in front of me. But
in that position that you were in, being in that deep, you don't have time to paint as meticulously and check every angle, and so people showing up somewhere is just something that it's a risk for you. Especially because you've been firing shots, so your position will be known. And especially since they're just spawning in, and so there are only so many places that they're even going to be looking at. So, like, we go over here, and there is a lot of purple paint. You see that there's... So there's someone who fired the whales, and then there's someone swimming in front of the whales right now. And that someone who's swimming in front of the rails is on the right side of your screen, and that's probably the dualies, and they probably just come diagonally. Right there. Yes. I think that's what happens. Okay. So the positioning was definitely a little funky, but we end up getting the Rainmaker, getting it pretty far forward. This is definitely a winnable push at this point. Just need to play defense for a minute. Now, unfortunately, a teammate went down right away. Oh, but we get the Rainmaker. Cool. Again... This position is less important for you to be taking than taking the left, because all this is protecting you against is the bridge, and if someone's going to the bridge, like, you can actually rotate to stop that pretty quickly. Better to leave this kind of an angle to, like, the Explo, who can hit someone who's in mid from this range, who can, like, actually control... like if they try to go left, the Explo is still in range to hit them if they go left. But with you here, if they try to go left, you actually have to move to the left to hit them, and that may lose you some time. Nice. And I agree with you trying to come over here and help with this. I would, however, be very concerned about firing shots as early as you have to get there, because the entire area to your right is completely purple. If anybody is coming to try and help this junior, you're the first person they're going to see, and you're not looking that way. I would also definitely have, as soon as they picked up the Rainmaker, paid attention to that and, like, what's going on over there. Because for all you knew, they could have been already charging a shot and hitting you with it. And this is a really good spot for you. You've caught the Rainmaker out completely. There is someone behind you still. So a pattern that I'm seeing is that there are a lot of areas of enemy paint, a lot of areas that they have control over, that you're, like, pushing up without noticing, or pushing up without collecting information on. And so that's getting you caught sometimes, and will get you caught more and more as other players get more aware. But this looks like a very winnable game at this point. We do want to play patient and careful here, because it's the end of the game and going down is really bad. But also, once your team starts going in, if you leave them to go in by themselves, that puts them in a worse position than if you go in with them. So, like, right now, there's a fight happening on the left, and you want to make sure that that fight is going in your favor. You don't want Otaku 6,648 to be losing their lives unnecessarily here, especially since right now, if you were to join that fight, that's a 2v1 or a 3v1 in your favor. If you wait until the rest of the enemy team catches up to Otaku here, now they're in like a 1v3 or something, and they just go down for sure. So I wouldn't be just like leaving them to go in by themselves. I would definitely be leaving myself an escape route and like not diving as deeply as they are. But you can definitely get close enough to fire a meaningful shot and keep somebody off them. That's a good couple shots there, and now we turn our attention to the left. It's all only the Rainmaker.
And then we play passive because you think there's people behind him, but there's not.
Yeah, we at that point, we did have the information to know that everyone else was down.
That was the thing I noticed when watching the replay again, because I was like, he might have support because it's overtime push. They're not just gonna. I don't know why I thought they wouldn't just be going in alone to try and get a desperate playoff, but just more of like, I didn't have much knowledge, and at the time I didn't have much knowledge, and just not looking.
Yeah, like, so you got the 52 on the right. You know that that player's down. And when you come over here, you can see 2 purple X's. So that's one way you could know. Another way is just looking at the UI really quickly here and seeing, oh, wait, we got this. Now, I would say even if you are outnumbered here, if you fire a shot right here, that stops the Rainmaker more effectively than throwing this bomb. A suction bomb, it's really good for stopping the Rainmaker if you can lead your shot by enough. But there's the risk, since it has such a slow fuse time, that they just swim straight through it. And last time we talked about using your main weapon to cut off opponents' movement options. This is a perfect time to be doing that. Even if you fire and completely whiff, as long as you hit in front of them, you're painting their feet. And that's going to slow them down more in this situation than having the bomb down and nothing else. But you do end up punishing them for trying to go for it. It's just now we've got to deal with all these jumps. We do deal with all the jumps. Absolutely pick it up there. You've got that many players down. If you pick it up, you win the game. If you let someone else pick it up, you give them a chance.
All in all, just more of like a game where I wasn't really paying attention most of the time, more of like on my own fights, and that's probably something I should be working on more than the map knowledge at that point. Obviously the map knowledge is most important for like knowing where to play, but it doesn't matter if you're not even playing well with your team.
I would definitely say it's important to take good positions in general. Like, even if you've never played a Splatoon map before, like one of the things that you're thinking with your weapon is, okay, where can I stand that my weapon is going to have an impact and I'm not going to die? So that's definitely something to spend some time thinking about, and I wouldn't, discount that. But something to definitely always be developing also is, instead of only focusing on like your positioning, to be letting your mind jump from thing to thing. It's like when you're driving, you need to check your mirrors. You don't want to be staring at your mirrors the whole time, obviously. That's dangerous. But it's also dangerous never to check your mirrors. So it's the same kind of thing here, where you're always collecting those little pieces of information from time to time, even while you're focusing on other stuff. And it's really, really important to know the state of numbers advantage pretty much at all times, like second to second, even half second to half second. And that will help you make better decisions in just about every situation, because it gives you this really easy binary, oh, we're ahead, push up. Oh, we're behind, fall back.
Hmm. But
All right.
it would be, honestly, to me, coming into Splatoon 3 now for where I was before, Splatoon 1, it was the only game I really played, and I never played Splatoon 2. Splatoon 1 was like 2015, so I only played it for like a couple months. So I probably don't have enough experience to really uh, do that much, but I do have enough experience in team games to know that when it's really important to play together and finding the right uh, place to make. Um, but I don't know where I'm going here, but thank you.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for the session and for letting us stream it. Definitely appreciate being able to have that content.
Yep.
So we've got a little bit of a break between now and when the next person is up. Otherwise, I would have cut us off already.
Yeah.
But Phantomu will be up next at 1:30. In the meantime, though, I'm probably just gonna play a few matches and chill and hang out. Might have to go and make some lunch at some point, I guess, because it is going to be very much several matches in a row straight. But
I don't know what. I mean, I want to say I could play a couple games until the next session, but like,
yeah.
I'm not in the best position. I can.
Oh, okay. So you're not able to?
I can. It's just probably gonna take like 5 minutes or something, or a couple
Gotcha.
minutes.
Well, I'll go. I'll go play a match of Range Blaster, and then maybe we can see about it afterwards.
All right.
Oh wait, I don't have any IA on. That's a problem. Let's fix that. There we go. All right. I'll do this in open because this is not my main weapon, and I'm not expecting to have quite as much success on it. Do gem main psychology? I did actually study psychology in college. It wasn't my major, but I did get a minor in it, I believe, by the time I was done. How much does a coaching session cost? Seems like a pretty good value. The 1 hour sessions, like the ones that we're doing today, are $10. I also offer sessions with teams where I do like a team practice with them. But right now I'm also just looking for content for stream where I can show more stuff of, oh, this is a stream team. Ahmed has rated us before, and Jazzicorn is also a Twitch streamer who I definitely recommend. Has a good level of competitive experience and is a very positive person. I'm out of ink. Hey, you want to not snipe me? Thanks. Okay, nice. Okay, I got one there, and it was the backliner, so I'm feeling okay about that trade. Yeah, darn. Unfortunately, we lost the engagement afterwards, but we can keep going here. Okay, that was a lucky find. Sometimes you just fire and put the shot up there, and it hits someone, and you're like, oh, cool. That's convenient. Alright. I kept at least trading back, but eventually the charger did catch someone. And if these guys don't back up, they're going to die, so I'm not going to jump into that. Okay, they just go for it. I don't know that a push to 51 is really worth dying for here. Oh, no. That's just unfortunate. Right as I started deciding to fire a shot to the right, the Rainmaker took aim at me. I might be able to get to Buttercup in time. Ooh, that was a close one. Oh, crap. Every time I try to do something, the Rainmaker's got a shot ready and is firing at me. I feel like that must be deliberate. They must be waiting for me to do something and then engaging on that basis. As a Charger player, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, that's kind of how Chargers have to work. They're very cycle-based. So they'd have an awareness of that. Nice. I was able to get it around the ink fact hitbox. Unfortunately, once I miss that first shot, I am uber dead. We're fine. Oh, crap. That was Ninja Squid. I realized much too late. Thankfully, my bomb was at least helpful in trading back, and our team is actually able to hang on there. I'm not going to jump in, though. There's someone fighting in mid. Yeah, that wasn't safe. Oh, no, and they got both of us. That's unfortunate.
Sorry to cut in, but I'm ready.
Okay, sure thing.
Yeah.
I'm in a match right now, but as soon as that's done. Okay, nice. Yeah, there's still someone there. You know what? We've got this thing. Let's use it. I should have fired another shot. Probably would have splatted. I was expecting them to move. I was like, they're going to move away from this. I'm not going to be able to get this. Stop that. Hey, jerk. Go get him, Keegan. Just don't go too hard getting them. Someone want to help with this? No? Okay. We could have flanked from the left, and that would have been a really successful flank. We did stop it in time. I'm actually gonna... Oh, no! Oh, shoot. That's definitely lead. We all clumped up. I should have gone a different way. By the time I got there, it was too late. I was already in range. This is game over, because we cannot get to the Rainmaker shield in time. It's not to say we shouldn't be trying, but yeah, that absolutely does not work. Jump off with the Rainmaker. That is not a mistake. That is a thing that's on defense is a good idea to do. Because it resets the Rainmaker back to the middle of the map, so it forces the enemy team to back all the way up to get it. GG's, Jazz!
GG's.
Alrighty.
I'm not sure what to play here, honestly, because I don't want to play range necessarily. I want to play like splash or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can have range blaster back if you want it, but I guess that's a moot point.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a lobby, and I will DM you the password. It is being protected by this pup with a Gengar here.
My favorite Pokemon.
There it is.
Thank you. Should be... Wait, where do I go? With friends, right?
Yeah. If you've got me added. Oh wait, you don't have me added. That's.
Oh yeah, that would be.
That would
something
help,
to
wouldn't
do.
it? was wondering if it's still a good strategy. Yeah, it totally is. That's something that you'll see at a high level. So, what you want to do with the Rainmaker depends on the situation. Like, it's not that you should just be jumping it off every single time on defense. If you get a wipe, just take it and move it out of your base. Unless it's so deep in your base that you would only get to mid by that point. Because if you would only get to mid by that point, what you should do instead is leave it in your base to reset by itself, unpopped. Because if you unpop it, if you pop it, sorry, not unpopped. God, this is so confusing. I'm sorry. If you pop it and leave it there for 15 seconds, it resets back to mid. So if you get a wipe and it's popped there in your base, just go forward with your main weapon and work to get some paint up around mid and have special ready when they get back. And then the Rainmaker will reset there and meet you in mid. So jumping it off is more for a situation where if you leave it there, the opponents will gain control of it and have advantage when they do. And since you'd rather be dead but have the Rainmaker in mid than have that happen, you jump it off. So even if people know to reset it, that doesn't mean that they know when to reset it. And that's an aspect of the decision-making that may change as you get to higher levels.
I sent that request.
Oh, okay. I might not have noticed. Hi, Vevev.
It's alright. I just want to let you, like, actually explain.
I'm not seeing you under the name Dreams anyway.
Oh, yeah,
Is your name
it's
different? Dom? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was Dreams on the replay. So
Yeah, I have like 50 different names. Because I know my YouTube nickname is the same as my actual name.
Pink pig thing that kind of looks like an anteater. Grumpig?
And then,
Oh yeah, I need to make the lobby. Duh.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll use that same password. Oh, and the pup is still up, so we don't even have to move it.
There we go.
Letting it reset is scary because someone might be sneaking their way. Yeah, and that is the danger of leaving it there, and so that's why you do that in a situation where you know that like everyone on the other team is accounted for. And at higher levels where people are more reliably collecting that sort of information, it's usually like there are times where you can very safely make that call, knowing that you're not going to get punished for that because there's nobody there to punish you for it.
Trying to get better with like crab combos. Thinking like probably like a direct bomb and then just like a couple tap shots because it already does 90 for the direct.
Yeah, what I see most people doing is they'll try and hit like 3 rapid shots, and then since at that communication error.
Yep.
And then since at that point in time you can expect that the opponent is reacting, you finish it off with an explo shot. Oh, whoops, that's not it. Go to here.
Thank God you can cancel now.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and this will be the only chance that we get because then at the bottom of the hour we're working with Phantomu.
Yep.
the real Splatoon experience. KO'd before the start of the match. True.
That's how it be sometimes. Don't you love it when you have a bomb that doesn't take half your ink tank?
It's a lot more than half with the suction bomb.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it's just not worth it to use the bomb sometimes, especially like the situations I find myself in. But I know it's a lot more important than just using your main weapon.
The main weapon does have a lot of the positive impact that a bomb does. Like, a bomb is less important for a blaster than it is for like a splatter shot, because the splatter shot can't hit behind walls. The splatter shot, you know, doesn't have AoE, but your main weapon does. The fuse time aspect is still very valuable because it means you can have a hitbox on a place that you don't have to be in.
I don't like this position, even though we already got 2.
They're weak. Got him.
Yeah.
Another one on me.
I'm coming.
They're weak. They're cut off.
I'll just keep this.
Last one's right in front of
out.
us.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll get him path. Playing right side. Carbon. Or flings up, my bad.
I am missiled, so I need to back up.
Flings got me. I played too far up. Just.
Oh, I thought that was gonna get him. Man. We could have gotten a little bit more than that, but
Still 40.
still a pretty good push. Yeah, and we got checkpoint. That's the big thing there.
Yeah. Flings it on me.
Yeah, I was gonna help, but the dually sculptures came after me, right? So we're 2 down now.
Yeah.
Jump with the bunny when you can.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm getting oppressed on the left side here.
sorry, a little bit too much Calvin. Calvin is the name of the bunny.
Just fighting this splatter shot. Oh, got flings good.
Oh boy.
Jumping
I'm
in
amazed they did not fire a shot at me.
in bubble.
Got one. I'm moving, I'm getting
Yeah,
flanked.
behind. Yeah, my bad.
Got him.
Nice.
Okay, that's wipe.
Good wipe. Just one person behind you. Got another teammate behind you as well. You're okay to jump here. Yeah. Watch your stamp.
Oh man. Well,
Got Rain. Got Splatana. Got Flingza.
just the shot that got me on my
I
edge.
cannot stay there.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not saying go after them, just letting you know where they are.
Oh, got me.
Nice.
Dapples is down. Or what the hell am I talking about?
Flings are behind us. You're also doing the thing that I do, where I go based on what the weapon looked like to me, and you're seeing red dapple or red dualies, so you're like, oh, that's the dapples, right? And it's actually the dually squelchers.
Yeah. Stay back a bit. Let Rainmaker catch up.
This should help.
Oh, I got him somehow.
Oh, hello.
Oh yeah, you're all by yourself. Oh boy.
Where did this guy go? There they
I think there's like 3 people on Rain. I'm missiled.
Yeah.
They're popping.
Ah! Well. Go, Doolies, go! Go, Doolies, go! Yay!
Oh, I'm out of ink. Oh no.
Just the Flingza.
Yeah.
Flingza's top right.
I got you. I got you.
Ah, they're watching top right now. They've seen me coming over that way now.
Yeah. I gotta stay on Rain.
I'm just gonna swim in.
Yep.
We only have to stop this one last push. Stay alive.
Yeah. Got Flingza.
Nice.
Stamper's coming in. Careful.
They got me from around the cover, because that's how Ultra Stamp works.
Yuli's dead.
There's one behind.
Yeah. It's wipe. You can stop this.
Got him.
Nice. Good game.
All right. We've got to get Phantomu in here. So, Phantomu, I know that you are in the stream, so hop into Waiting Room VC. And we'll get going.
Well, I'll be seeing you. I'll probably be watching the rest of the stream. So,
Okay.
yeah. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Afro money for the gem, 690. Thank you, Afro Spook. It's very kind of you. All right, I've got a replay code. So let's have a look at that. That is RY1R. Okay. 9A V1JP. And EXP5. Oh. That's a 5, not an S, because I always get those mistaken. Okay. And there it is. Ah, okay. I'm getting things set up real quick with Phantomu. We're going to do this over a DM instead of over a call like we usually do. And at Phantomu's request, there's actually going to be a brief interruption in the stream because Phantomu has requested that the recording for this be unlisted. So in order to accomplish that, I need to create a separate instance of it in YouTube. It needs to be a different stream, quote unquote. It needs to be treated like a different video. So the stream is going to go dead for a few seconds here. That is expected. Did it just freeze? Yeah, it just froze. Cool. Very, very neat. Very excellent and cool and groovy. We're gonna deactivate. Activate. Yeah, we're gonna have to unplug and replug. Okay, we're back. Is Phantomu in here? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello. Okay.
I think I have a pretty horrible problem with me.
Sorry, I'm just getting this all set up
Alright,
again.
go. I
Okay.
got the punishment for not doing my hand stretches.
Oh no. Yeah, definitely be careful. Always do those. So, I'm gonna go and toggle the stream really quick. So again, everybody, it's going to go dead for just a second. That's okay. Do not panic. Or do, but